Hey y'all, welcome to Horrible Gaming. My name is Nora, and on today's video we are doing 3 ways to decorate the new mushroom house in the premium shop. I wanted to offer 3 different styles in case you are having trouble decorating this new amazing house skin. Now, I do want to disclaim I had some must-have items for this house that I actually don't own yet. So I might do an updated video in the future once I finally get these items. Anyways, for today's video, we are going to be doing 3 different styles for this new house, and 2 of them are going to be natural and 1 of them is going to be more structured. Each build will be in a different location and of course a different style, because I know not all of us have the same taste on Disney Dreamlight Valley, so I hope that each idea today will help inspire you on the game. So the first idea is of course going to be in the peaceful meadow, because the grass is a perfect match on the house for this biome, and we're going to do something kind of more fairy garden inspired. So for the first build today, we're actually going to be doing something a little bit more simple, and this build is actually geared towards Switch players. I really wanted to offer a build that doesn't take up too much of your item limit, but also makes it feel really nicely decorated. So today we are going to be really focusing on the item decor instead of like the pathway. As I was working on today's video, I really wish we had more mush-like items in the game. If you're familiar with games like Animal Crossing, I think having similar items like that on Disney Dreamlight Valley really could have made this build so cute, especially capturing that fairy garden sort of vibe that we're going for today. Another thing I really hope to see in the future on Disney Dreamlight Valley is some sort of like a customization option. I would love to be able to edit the house colors to kind of like my personal taste or to suit the biome better. I think if we could change like the grass color and like the main house colors, like the rooftop, it would have been awesome, because I would have loved to place this in my glade of trust. Imagine the house with like a purple rooftop and colors that really complement the glade of trust. I just think customization in general would be really amazing to see in the game and help us really personalize our valleys a little bit more too. Anyways, I went ahead and transitioned the footage and filled in the surrounding areas with a little bit more greenery. It actually took me a second to figure out how I wanted these side areas to look. Something I think that would really complement this build is the vine wall behind the mush house. This would just fill it in a little bit more and really complement that fairy garden sort of vibe. But of course, as mentioned earlier, I do not have that item yet, and I'm hoping to get that item very soon. Anyways, after a few more final touches, this is how our first build for today's video turned out. I just think it really captures that really nice, cute little fairy garden sort of look. As mentioned earlier in my video, I think that this first build is wonderful for those on the Nintendo Switch, as it won't interfere with your item placement and getting your item limit increased too much. For the next build idea in today's video, we are going to be working in the peaceful meadow again. I actually really wanted to do this build in my plaza, but we just finished an entire fall festival series in my plaza, and I'm not down to flatten this right away yet. However, in the future, I am planning to do a natural themed plaza, so maybe I can tackle the idea in the future, but for now, we're just going to be working in the peaceful meadow again. This build is going to be a more structured idea, because I know not many people like the idea of just, something natural. Maybe you prefer something organized and a lot more clean. So this build is geared to those interested in that style instead. Also, please excuse the foggy weather. When I was making this video, my valley decided it just had to get foggy right when I was doing this part of the video. So eventually it does clear up, but I did want to disclaim I am so sorry that it decided to do that. But anyways, on each side of the house, we are going to be doing one side that's more of like a garden theme, and then the other side is going to be a little bit more natural, just filled in with greenery and a little bit more simple. Anyways, for the next step of today's build, we're going to be doing a simple centerpiece in front of the house, and that is by using one of our fruit bushes, and then we're going to frame it in with some rocks. I also like the centerpiece here because it's also a functional way to still harvest the fruit, but also use it as decor too. For the first side of this house, we're actually going to be doing a little walkway with the rocks, and this is going to lead up to a little gardening area right next to the house. Just like the first build in today's video, if you have access to the vine wall, I think that this would be a great addition to the build, because then it kind of hides the glade of trust a little better as well. But if you're like me and still don't have that item, all I'm going to do behind the mushroom house is just some clutter of bushes and different greenery and trees, just to fill it in a little bit more, and of course do a lot of focus on the decor. Once I finish blending out the sides of the dirt path with the rocks, we're going to go ahead and start detailing our little gardening area. Something that I do hope to see in the future is more gardening like decor items. It would be really nice to have like a little watering can to decorate with, and like a little shovel that might be stuck in some dirt, and of course course like a wheelbarrow. I just think there are so many cute gardening items that we could use in Disney Dreamlight Valley, but of course we're making use of what we already have. Anyways, after a few more final touches, this is how our second build for today's video turned out. I think that this is such a wonderful option if you prefer a more structured look, but of course it also uses some natural elements as well. Our last build idea for today's video is actually going to be in the Forest of Valor, and I think we're going to go a more fall core approach to the house. I'm also going to make use of the stump over here that spawns in the biome 2 for decor. Since we don't have actual mush items yet, these are great alternatives to fill in and achieve that fairy garden sort of look. I love doing this idea in the Glade of Trust too, especially for one of my older videos like we did with Minnie's home. It just really does add to the fairy sort of vibe, so I wish that we had more of these logs like in the biome right now, but I only have this one stump at the moment, but we'll make do with what we got. For my pathway, I'm actually going to be using the pathing that goes with the Sunlit Plateau. It's a really close match to the dirt that's on the house right now, so I think that it really complements the home, and also it'll match well with our fall tones that we're doing too. Anyways, for the next step of today's build, we're going to be doing a curved look with our pathway, so I'm going to map out where I want this curved pathway to go with my dirt path, and then eventually we're going to start framing it in with the rock border. One of my biggest issues with this house though is the fact that we can't change the color of the grass in it, so I think going with a more fall toned approach in this biome will help blend out the bright green grass inside the house. That is again something I hope to see in the future. Is just a little bit more of a customization option where we can change the colors of certain aspects in the house skins that we purchase. Anyways, once we finish mapping out our pathway, it's time to start detailing around the mush house. Originally, I was wanting to do some pumpkin decor, but I don't really have a lot to use right now, being that we just did our fall festival plaza. So in the future, that is something I would have loved to add to this build today, is definitely some pumpkin clutter. But we are going to do a mixture of different bush colors from bright greens to dark greens and oranges, of course, to really just complement the mush home and blend out that harsh green inside the fence. I think this build would also look really nice if it eventually transitioned to almost like a cul-de-sac sort of look in the Forest of Valor. So if you're looking into maybe some organization in this biome, I think adding more villagers into this location could be really cute, because you could almost go for like a forest village sort of look. But another idea that I had as I was working on today's build is, if you watched my recent video for the functional cottagecore home, I think adding in a functional gardening area could be a great addition to this build, or even adding Wally's garden. Another thing that I decided to add, which was last minute, was the Dreamlight trees, as I think it just did a really nice framing effect with them. I do wish we could again edit how some of the items look in this game, because it would have been great to have those trees be like this bright fall green color, but I still think even though there are different shades, that it looked really cute with today's build. Anyways, after a few more final touches, here's how our last build for today's video turned out. I hope that today's video brought you some Disney Dreamlight Valley inspiration. Let me know your favorite build in the comment section below, as well as future build ideas you hope to see on my channel. Before today's video ends, I also want to give a huge thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me as a creator. Just your support in general means the world to me. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and have a horrible day.